Alright, been a little while, but we have been doing some work. Just want to give you a quick update what we got done here. The second power supply is now in and installed. So now I have the 12 volt, 5 volt power around the entire layout. This is the second one. A little bit different than the first, only that the shelf that I put it on, just where I had it underneath here, is just a little bit larger, so it's slightly bigger, but very similar to the other design if you've seen that video. On this particular one I did also add a little switch here. This is the, see, I had those little LED lights in there, so if you ever have to work underneath there you get some light. Those are pretty nice. So that's been done, so it's all wired up, and I did run one bus over here to behind this control cabinet for the 5 and 12 volt and ground, of course, and then one runs around the other edge underneath all the way around, and it winds up right here. So that power supply ends up right here. Eventually this right here is going to have another 1x4 across here, and then a couple buildings or something like that in there. So so this power supply on the other side there, which is underneath the mess, that's where the factory is going to be. So it runs around. It's going to handle this control cabinet, runs around to just at the end of the curve there, and then it runs around underneath all the way around, and then just over to, obviously it'll handle that control cabinet over there for CP97, and it ends shortly after there, because the other one then picks up and handle the lift out, then all the way around. Sorry about that, make you all dizzy. And it comes back around, and that one's sitting right there, and that also then powers that control cabinet for Eugene East, and the one up there for Eugene West. So that's been accomplished. We also got, as you can see, the intermodal yard, which is only really 2 tracks, but we did get that in. Been playing a little bit here. As you can see, decided here at the far end not to put that switch in. I do appreciate all the suggestions. Some good ideas out there, but just decided just to keep it simple. Use it for a yard office building, or the entrance road with a little guard shack as the trucks come in, or something. Again, I don't want to get spaghetti bowl with the track. So, but those 2 tracks are in now, and this stuff's just out because we just had to play with it a little bit, of course. Although we realize that we don't have much of a intermodal fleet. This is we have one Kato double stack well car, and then this is an Athearn well car, and of course the Wheels of Time. They're kind of nice, so we have that there, and threw some containers up just to have some fun. So I mean, at a minimum, at least we can park some trains here when we're doing some running. You can see we got the additional flex track. I had to buy some more for the rest of the yard, so that's the next. Obviously, next thing we got to do track-wise is get all that back in. We also decided to, here you can see we finished the programming track off here, which is double gapped right here. Then we added this, and this is just temporary for now. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, but that's for our programming track, so we can be run if we're going to back something in. It's a center off, so that's off, and then over to program it. So, and I've already explained to Steve it's very important you never run anything in there if it's set the program. So so far no issues with that. So that's part of it. We also got the rest of the branch line done, so let me do a quick pause, and we'll go over there and we'll see how that looks. Alright, here in the workshop we got all the track on the shelf down and installed and all wired up. So now we can actually run stuff back here, and you can see we got some stuff sitting here now for storage and for testing and whatnot. I use the Southern switcher and as a little test run, and and this BR644 Talent, and of course my little friend there, Foxtrot Tango, aka the Frog Tester. Ran him back in. So that's all wired. What I wanted to do, it's not the prettiest in the world, but for 3 of the tracks, for the track where the caboose and switcher are, and the 644, and then the cars in the rear, those 3 siding tracks, they're actually controlled by these toggle switches to turn them off. I figured if I've got, especially on the front track here, which I plan to use a lot for maintenance, and for it's where I'll have engines on it and I can test run them and stuff like that. I want to be able to turn them off, because if we have engines back here and they're sound equipped, I don't want them all firing up and being, raising a cacophony of noise. So that way I can turn those tracks off. The main line, the branch, that's pure power. That's powered up. I also did bring the bus out here at the end. So at the workbench, I do have the DCC power. For example, when I put that Intermountain unit back together, I'll probably test it with the new motor, and this way I don't have to string leads all the way across. Although of course I could just clip off up here and come down, but I figured since I had them, I'll put them on a terminal board there. So that's all wired up. I did use some leftover from the old layout micro engineering number 6s. They're in here. I'm not going to put tortoises, just go by hand. That's fine. Again, for the branch line, I'm not too worried about that. I did add a wire to the frog. Frogs aren't powered. I wasn't really planning to, but figured before I put them in and actually secured them down, I just decided to drop the feeders down. So I don't know if you'll be able to see them, but they're down there. They're down there in case I need them at some point in time. I could always fire up a frog juicer or something like that if I really wanted to. On the bottom of the display case, apologize, probably pretty glary, I might go ahead and add another 3-foot LED strip light to give some more light underneath the case there. And there's our wonderful little selection of goodies so far. Not really organized, just kind of thrown in there. Some stuff. Kind of fun. So this is all done. Again, a little control box. I would have, if I was thinking ahead, I would have had the contractor, when he was making this, do something a little bit different, because he put this little veneer piece on over a 1x4. It's a little too thick to drill and get some toggle switches through. So that's why I had to go and make that cute little box there. Good enough. It's only for the workbench. So that's on that side there. So take a quick pause. I'm just going to show some other things too. Alright, these are kind of nice. I found these are all electronics. These are a little set. 3 sets of 3 12-volt LEDs. These happen to be the, you can read that there. These are the cool white, and they also come in bright white. I used a set. Here's a leftover where I just showed the new control computer, the power supply. Sorry, I used 2 of them. So just cut it, and I got one here I can put somewhere. Since it's 12 volts, and I have 12 volts going around the whole layout. You don't need LEDs or anything; they're already installed in there. So you just gotta wire it into your 12 volts. So just FYI, just something that's kind of neat. It wasn't really expensive, and again they have a cool white, a bright white, and maybe even a warm white, but I think warm white would be all that good in terms of task lighting, but just something to consider. A pretty nice little arrangement there at All Electronics. That's another little doodad I bought. I had this old tower, and since I have the circuit breaker for the branch line installed, but it's way over there, mounted underneath Wallace Junction basically. Wanted to have some indication, because if I'm back here working, doing something, and I cause a short, I don't have a buzzer, a piezo buzzer or anything on the circuit breaker yet. I might. But again, as I was looking at All Electronics, came across these little guys, and I figured I'd give it a shot. Let's see, these are right angle red LEDs, catalog LED dash 182. I think they make other colors as well. Again, this is from All Electronics, and basically all it is an LED that's got the leads at a right angle. Oh, sorry about that, you can see that there. So what I plan to do is just maybe wire them up through this little tower that back in my German railroad days I was going to run some catenary, but that's not going to happen now. So I figured I'd mount that here. Got a hole drilled, you can't really tell there with the cork. Run the leads over, and then that way I have that sitting right there, so if I calls a short or something shorts, I get an LED that lights up. Just thought it was kind of fun. So again, just another cool little thing that was I found at All Electronics. I'm a sucker for that. I go to those sites and I'll just look around and find all kinds of stuff to buy. So that's probably what I'm going to do. And again, this is the old, not old, but this is what I had again from the old layout. That's the actual tower of Eastman 4144, designed really for catenary. I believe German prototype catenary pole. I use a couple for lights and whatnot. It's kind of a nice little tower, but that'll be my short circuit indication, my visual indication, if I don't add a piezo buzzer to the breaker. So there's another product that you might be interested in. All right, on a final note, I've got to admit something. I've always said that we're going to try to be honest and open and transparent doing these videos, and if we make mistakes, we're going to let everyone know and let the chips fall where they may. And just realize that I made a major issue. We'll see. But let me just pan in here and show you this. You see what that is? Now some of you already, the alarm bells are going off. Yeah, I used that when I was soldering up the track. Obviously, we use this acid flux for the fast track switches, doing all the PC board ties, and I don't know that's a huge issue. I've seen some stuff on the internet where they don't recommend that, but nothing's fallen apart yet. So since it worked so well, I just kind of grabbed that and came over here when I was soldering up rail joiners, and even I think the worst problem is probably the rail joint, the feeders. And you probably can't really see it in here, but for example, when I soldered this together, I brought a feeder up, bent it, and we soldered it all together, and had a little bit of the acid flux on it. So I don't know. I'm nervous, to be honest, and I'm kind of embarrassed to say it. You don't have to leave comments telling me I'm an idiot. I know. In fact, I knew better. I don't know why it didn't dawn on me till it was a couple days ago. I was like, uh-oh. So we'll see. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm kind of curious if anyone else has done it, and over time, if they said that there's been no overall ill effects, or after 6 months all their track work fell apart. So we'll see. Again, I'm not overly, as worried again about soldering together with a little bit of flux on there, but just not really sure exactly what's going to happen over the long haul with all the feeder wires that were soldered that way. So I don't know. We'll see. Leave a comment if you've done it, or if all right, the first person that comments that says I'm an idiot, I'll accept that, but I don't need a whole lot after that. Now, when we did when I did go over and do the branch that I just did, I did not do that. Used no flux whatsoever, and things went okay. It's really nice with this flux. I think I just got so used to it making the fast track switches. I just grabbed it, came over, and just a lot of the soldering that was done, I kind of waited till I was going to do it a lot of times all at one time. Went ahead and did it. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Hopefully it's not too terrible over time. Although I keep thinking one day I'm going to come down here and everything's going to be falling apart and all the feeders are off and I'll have a lot of rework. So we shall see. But again, not trying to hide stuff. I want to let people know when we make mistakes, so you can laugh at us, and we'll see how things go from here. But do appreciate everyone watching. We went over 500 subscribers, which Steve and I are both kind of surprised. Do appreciate everyone watching, and hopefully you're getting something out of it, at least a good laugh at us, like in this case here. But we do appreciate it, and all the comments. We love to read them, and like to see what other folks are doing, some good ideas and whatnot. And we do have some videos, a little bit of a lag here. Again, like I said before this update, in all honesty, with the amount of work I've had down here, just had a little bit of burnout. So after the holidays, there was a little bit of a time there where I just didn't feel like coming down. We've been working down here pretty much nonstop since we got the room turned over to us late September, and just kind of got burned out a little bit. But we're kind of back into it now. Have some ideas for more updates. We're back working. I'm probably going to do an update. I'd like to do one that shows how I go ahead and make these fast track single crossovers. I don't think I've seen that, and Fast Tracks doesn't have it on their site. and maybe do a quick one just on the turnouts themselves. Again, the Fast Track site really does a fantastic set of videos on it, but again, these are all number 8s, and I'm noticing some things. In fact, looking at this turnout, if you look at it, I'll just do that, and those are that know. Basically, I have an extra PCB board tied in there where the H one is, but just some things that I found out and some things I've noticed in making these might be helpful for others. I'm not going to do something nearly as in-depth because, again, the Fast Tracks guys do have a great set of videos on their website or on YouTube that I've watched several times. So, also got some ideas on some other stuff. Try to keep some more product information, and one thing we might come up with is Steve and I have always wanted to come up with a way to shoot video, like you're on a train, kind of like this, which we actually did once with this camcorder on a flat car, which was kind of interesting. But got some ideas. There's actually something we might try in the near future that we might be able to update people with a way not too expensively to do it. There are some options. Roku makes a video locomotive. That's rather expensive. I've done some research on that, but I think I have a better way to do it. So we'll see. If we go ahead and do that, we'll definitely make a video on that, and we'll see how that goes. So more to come on that. So again, thanks everyone for watching. We do appreciate it. Stay tuned for more updates, and everyone have fun out there.